Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Maria Etienne, Chairwoman of the Commission for Women of the City of North Miami. I would like to call this meeting to order. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Thank you. We'll start with roll call.
Okay. Marie Etienne,
Present.
Rose Guampierre. Present. Emanuela Floimo. Present. Dr. Maggie DeWitt?
Magda Demerit, present.
Demerit, sorry. Vice Chair Naomi Blemire. Nora Glitman. Madam Chairwoman, you have a quorum to proceed.
Thank you, Ms. Levasseur. If everyone, please look at the agenda. Do we have any amendments to the agenda?
We do not, Madam Chairwoman.
Okay. At this time, we'll move on to, if we can get a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any no? Any abstention? Motion carries.
4-0. Madam Chairman, there is no special presentation tonight.
All right. Would like to look at the minutes for approval, if there are any questions. The last meeting, we did not have quorum.
You didn't have the quorum, so the minutes are,
Withdraw?
yeah.
Okay. And the last month, we did not meet because of lack of quorum. So I just want to make it a point of just a gentle reminder to the board that we have to do our due diligence to have quorum for these meetings, for our proceedings to occur. Without quorum, we may not exist. Therefore, we have to take our appointment with due diligence. Thank you.
Madam Chairman, just so you know, Nora Glitman, she is on her way. She is stuck in traffic.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so there are no special presentations, so we'll move on to the discussions. First is the Commission for Women's Statistical Report by Dr. Magda Demerit.
Good evening, everyone. So I believe it was either at our second meeting or maybe the third, I was charged with compiling some data to represent what we know about the women of the city of North Miami, as well as Miami-Dade County, so that we can draw from that data some programming implications. And so what we've learned is that almost half, pretty much half of the residents here in North Miami are women. So this commission is very important to a large half the population of North Miami to be able to have to serve them. With this population, there is a 10% wage gap between men and women. And about 35.8% of women own homes versus 64% of those who rent. So that is a very important finding where we have way more women who are renting homes than they are homeowners here in the city of North Miami. Overall, in Dade County, in general, we found that 15% are without health insurance coverage, even with different programs like Obamacare and the different things that we have. We still have a significant population of people who are without, women who are without health insurance. 19% we see have reported depression, and about 10% have a disability of some kind. We see that breast, lung, and colorectal cancers will account for 50% of new cases in women. Okay, we have 345 women who gave birth without prenatal care, and infant mortality continues to be higher for Black women. Okay, we have 72% of women who are considered physically inactive. We know that physical inactivity also leads to all sorts of medical conditions. We have 34.2% of women who consumed 2 or more servings of vegetables per day, right? So that's not enough. We need to eat more healthy foods. Leading causes of death for women in Dade County: heart disease, cancer, and stroke. We have chronic lower respiratory disease leading to higher death rates in women at 44% compared to men at 18%. We also have about almost 2,300 human trafficking cases involving women and children in Dade County. Mm-hmm. And we have 21% of firms, businesses are women owned. And again, the pay gap in Dade County for women and men is higher at 19%. So, you know, we had already started talking in the commission during some of our meetings about some of the things that we thought were important. But I think the data now supports a lot of the things that we were talking about. And so programming implications fall as follows. For sure, we see there's a healthcare and wellness component that we definitely want to focus and look at, focusing on nutrition, exercise, mental health, prenatal care, safety, chronic illness, insurance access, and coverage. We also have a need for business startup workshops and education to help us compete and start businesses and be successful. And then finally, for sure, home buyer workshops and education, helping the women of North Miami move from renting to home ownership in their community. That concludes the Commission for Women's Statistical Report.
Thank you, Dr. Demerit. Do we have any questions?
As far as questions, no, we already know those, and that's what I think that's at the first or second meeting, I point those subject because it's very important that we work with women and difficulty in healthcare and mental health problem, because those problems can affect those women in many aspects of their lives. So later on, so we're gonna in the agenda, I submit some dates. So like me and Dr. Magda, maybe we was working like, our mentor was, working together, and I brainstormed some date so we can have activities in the city just to help those women to see what we can do for them. So when we get to the point, I will, Madam Chairwoman, I will discuss that.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
One important issue, as we know, especially nowadays, and the trend is going.
Your mic.
Thank you. One important issue that we notice nowadays, and the trend is going increasingly, is mental health. So the same way that we got statistics in terms of percentage for the other field, I would like to see or to have for the board a certain percentage as well where we could show black and white on a database how many women particularly and in general are affected by mental health.
We have it here.
Yes, so we have reported, right? Because here's the thing with mental health, we know these numbers are definitely higher. It's just whether or not they get screened, whether or not they catch it. So of women that we know are screened in Miami-Dade County, 19% are reporting depression. But again, this number is probably very, very low. And I imagine if our primary care physicians would do more PHQ depression screenings, we would find that this number would jump extremely high. So,
And we would welcome, among everyone that is listening, we would welcome any presentation on that subject. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to make a few comments as it relates to the data that was presented. But before we do that, would like to welcome our Vice Chairwoman, Dr. Naomi Blumeur. Just to make a few comments as it relates to the data that was presented by Dr. Demerit. We're looking at 72.3% of women are considered physically inactive. This is alarming because we know cardiovascular disease is definitely correlating with these numbers. And so I would like for us to think about, in terms of programming, that we think of a heart health walk. We don't necessarily have to start the initiative, but we can also collaborate with other entity who are doing this heart health activities, because I know the Haitian American Nurses Association on February 4th will be doing a heart health activity, and this is something that we should definitely consider looking into. The second thing that I see here is that we have 2,289 human trafficking cases involving women and children. January is the month that is designated for human trafficking awareness and prevention. And so I implore everyone to speak up. If you see something, say something, because this is serious. Florida has ranked the third among the third state in the country, and I think we need to do something about it. And being the president and CEO of Global Innovative Foundation, which is a nonprofit 501c3 organizations that's addressing human trafficking among with many other entities in the community, we need to let everyone know that human trafficking is not acceptable and it's not tolerated. Therefore, we as a commission should definitely think about it and collaborate, and in any endeavors that addresses human trafficking. The state attorney's office will be working closely with Global Innovative Foundation. The last Monday will be a 4th annual Human Trafficking Summit at Miami-Dade College, and so everyone is invited. It's from 11:30 to 2:30, so please put that in your calendar. That is we will definitely get updates from the state attorney's office, Catherine Fernandez Rundle. We also, and looking at this data, and you mentioned this, board member Gampier, you mentioned about the mental health. Depression is real, and we have seen too many people committing suicide, and lately we have seen it in the news, but we also know women can be impacted, whether they are pregnancy induced, whether it's, and especially in the Haitian community, mental health is somewhat a taboo because it's not discussed a lot. But in the community, in the city of North Miami, I think as women, as board members for this commission, we owe it to every woman to get help and provide the resources that they need so that we will not have a suicide, so that we will not have any issues that will, anything we can do to reduce the stigma, I think would be great. And so I don't want to speak to the choir because I'm sitting with experts here this evening. So those are the comments I really wanted to make based on the data. I want to give a special thanks again to Dr. Demerit for taking the assignment very seriously, because I remember I think it was our first or our second meeting that we did look at the whole Dade County data and report, and we didn't want to just look at the data. We just wanted to do something about it as it relates to our city. And so that's where we are right now. So, any
If I may,
questions?
Dr. Richan, if I may, if we look at the report, thank you again, Dr. Demerit, each one item contribute to mental health.
Yes,
So we have to tackle each one of them if we want to reduce
yes.
depression.
Mhm.
So that's one of the things that I would like to emphasize on. And again, we welcome every single person who would be willing to come and tell us more about each item toward resolving the mental issue.
So,
Go ahead.
so one of the things that I looked at when I was putting together all of this information and thinking about programming implications, what could we do? And to your point, Board Member Pierre, it had to be an umbrella because there's so much under healthcare and wellness that you cannot deal with one without dealing with the other.
Yes.
Right? Like it all really goes hand in hand. Sometimes depression can lead to physical ailments. Sometimes the physical ailments can lead to the depression. So, we call those co-occurring challenges. We have to work together. So, and what I really love about this commission is that each of us have unique skill sets and background that contribute to addressing all of these issues. So I'm excited to see how we're going to come together and what we're going to do to assist the women, particularly in North Miami, to walk a path towards wellness.
Any other question? Okay. So we're under new discussion. Item A is we just addressed. So we will table item B until Board Member Glickman is here. So let's look at item number C, which is under Maria Etienne, Dr. Maria Etienne, for branding. Looking at the this commission, and we're the first set of board member for this commission, and we did look at some design, and we voted. So I wanted to get an update, Dr. Fleming. I would like to get some updates because we did look at some of the design, and we voted on this item. Okay, so this is what we voted on, right? I don't know if you had a chance to look at the.
Rosa did.
So these were the
forward-
three.
Yeah, she forwarded to me.
These were the three.
Mm-hmm.
I was just showing it to our new board member. This is the second one. Okay, and this is the third. Okay, so the board voted for this one. All right. So, we need a budget. We need a budget to, get, not only tablecloth, T-shirt, business card, and I did ask if we could, create, a newsletter, so we can share information, from time to time, right? And even if we have not decided, if we want to do it quarterly or monthly, but I think it would be a great idea to share information, even with the city's information. You can ask if it's okay for us to submit anything as a commission. What do you think?
Yeah, that would be fantastic that people will aware of us, of the Women Commission, and then to know our mission and purpose. So therefore, like, we will keep the community educated. So when we go to my items, so I have pointed all of that too, to see how we can do activities to involve more women in the community. That will help them a lot. So
Ms. Lavisser, can you ask Madam Vice Mayor about budgeting item, if we can do any budget? Is there,
I can tell you, you guys do have a budget. You do have a line item.
okay,
So there is a budget there. In terms of getting tablecloths and business cards, well, with the business cards, I would need to find out how you can obtain business cards, and what number would be on the business cards. Outside of that, the other question I would have in terms of your newsletter, who would be the editor and who would be writing the newsletters for you? I would need to know who that is. The only thing I know in terms of your logo is there were some corrections that you had requests. I was able to forward it to the person who designed your logo.
yes,
She said she would be working on it, so I'm waiting to receive it.
okay. All right, so we look forward to getting an update from you regarding the branding.
I do
Item.
need a clear understanding in terms of, you said you wanted tablecloth.
Yes, well, let me just ask the members.
Uh-huh.
I'll start with Madam Vice Chair. What would you like to see in terms of branding for us?
I think it would be best if we hear what the budget is first before we make our requests. I think once we know exactly what the dollar amount is, we would be able to say, okay,
The dollar amount is 5,500.
okay.
5,500
Yes,
is our budget
For the
item?
entire year.
for the entire year.
Oh, that's not much, but we'll behave ourselves.
So then the next question for me would be, what do we have planned in order to increase that budget so that we would be able to purchase the items that we believe are necessary?
That would be a discussion with city manager. This budget was included in our new fiscal budget for this year. The last budget meeting, I'm sorry. So that would be a discussion that would need to be had, that the city council would need to have with the city manager in terms of increasing your budget.
So with the budget of 5,500, I think that just to begin, I would say one tablecloth and possibly 2 banners. At least those 3 items would give us a presence if and when we put an event together. Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to welcome Board Member Narissa Glickman. All right, so we're asking board members their thoughts, feedback, recommendations in terms of item C, which is branding. Dr. Floma?
yeah, no, definitely. So to add on what Dr. Bermeo asked a question earlier. So if the city allocate 5,500 for us, do we have access to create activities? So for us to raise more money, instead of
You can always fundraise.
yes, okay. So if, I don't know if you all will agree with, so we can, instead of going to the city money, raise money ourselves to help the organization because it's new, and we know the city budget rise was not in a very good standing. So if we can do something like some activities to raise money to help the commission, I think that it will be a good option instead of asking for more for now.
Any thoughts, Dr. Demerit, as it relates to those two recommendations?
I think both can be very true. I think that there's no harm in asking if there's some more money we can tap into. And I also think that there's value in fundraising and raising money for those who want to be involved and support our efforts.
Okay, thank you. Board member?
Hello everyone. It's easy to have the banner and the logo done. Will not be more than $500. So I think that we are doing very well with this big amount of budget that we already received. Thank you so much for the city to give us all this. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, thank you, members. I have to agree with Madam Vice Chair, Dr. Blumer. Having a tablecloth and a banner will give us presence. Definitely our logo. And so in terms of shirts, we can discuss that later. If we see a need to have shirts, right? We can discuss that later. But in terms of business cards, I think it's necessary for us to.
Again, I would just need to know what numbers will be on that business card and how to proceed in that.
Yeah, you have to ask the city attorney to see if we can have our the city's number and also our cell number.
My concern in terms of putting a city number
Mm-hmm.
on that is you gotta keep in mind regular business is still conducted.
Okay.
So there's no way for someone to if they call and they ask for Dr. Etienne, you're not going to be in our directory.
Okay.
So how do they forward those numbers to you? That's
Okay.
why I would like to know what numbers if we can even use a city number on that
Yeah,
business card.
you'll ask the city attorney and get back to us on that?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that's all I have to say on that item. You want to add something?
Yes, I think like having the tablecloth and the banner, yes, those are standing, but if we're going out, it will be very important to have the T-shirts too, at like the three component
Mhm.
to make it happen, because to use the tablecloth, it has to be it has to be us.
Mhm.
So how we gonna use it? So it would be nice to have those three: the tablecloth, not even the banner. The banner is good flyer. That's about the Women Commission, and
Like a one standing banner?
one standing banner and flyers, and then the shirt. So when we go out prepared.
Okay, thank you. Before I move on to item,
Can I interject? I need a clear directive and a vote on what is it exactly that you're requesting that I order? Because you've given several.
I will repeat.
Okay.
I will repeat what was stated by the board. It was recommended by our vice chair that we, based on the budget that we have they have been allocated to us, that we can order one tablecloth and two banners. And we, to begin with, then we proceeded by saying that it's necessary to have business cards. And our board member, Dr. Floma, just added that we need those T-shirts as well. We need shirts. We have not decided on whether it's a polo, whether it's a regular shirt, a dress,
Shirt.
professional dress shirt. And that's what I'm hearing. And we also want to know which phone numbers that we can put on the business cards. You can ask the city attorney if it's okay for us to use our cell or the city's number. I'm not sure. I think that those are a directive for now. Item B. Before I go to item B, I would like to acknowledge our youth vice mayor. Could you please come and say hello and introduce yourself? We're very excited to have you, newly appointed vice mayor.
Hello, my name is Angelina Flareem, and I am the newly appointed vice mayor of the North Miami Youth Council.
Okay, let's give her a round of applause. We welcome you, and this is the Commission for Women for the city of North Miami. So any questions you have for us, any suggestions, any ideas, we welcome. And if you want to bring your youth to our meeting, we would love to have you, and we would love to collaborate if there's anything we can do together.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Can we have question about her?
Sure.
Yeah, where you from? What school? Are you still in school?
Yes, I'm still in school. I am in 10th grade at Sheridan Hills Christian School in Broward. I live in North Miami my entire life, but I am of Haitian descent. Yeah.
All right.
Any
That's
other
wonderful.
questions?
Thank you so much.
Is that all?
Well,
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you so much.
okay, Madam Vice Mayor. Mrs. Madam. Okay, all right. Moving on to the next item. Item B, the Chinese Tea Party by Board Member Narissa Glickman. Just to let you know, Ms. Glickman, because we did not have a quorum at our last meeting in October, therefore, any decision we made about the tea was null. So now we have to start from,
Are we going to discuss the details? What are we going to serve, or we're going to discuss who are we going to invite and how many people? We have speak about it. In the past, we can have not more than 40 people in the reception
everything that was
area.
discussed in the past is null and void at the last meeting, since we did not have quorum.
Yeah,
So
I
now you
bring
can
it up.
start, you can
Yeah.
start now.
Yeah, so we can have like a maximum of 40 people in the reception area here, and we are going to have some Chinese, like a dim sum finger food, and we have some Chinese tea, and we would like to invite some woman club that they have different idea. We like to hear from different area, even in Broward. So I would like to invite some of the lady from Broward to Miami area. So if the board have no objection, also I would like to use a little bit of the budget, if I allowed to do that, to do the tea party. May I ask permission for the board to give me a little budget to do the tea party?
I think the first thing we would ask you to do is give us a tentative date that you have in mind. That's number one. Number two, present a budget item to the board for approval, because we don't know what you're going to do yet. So just give us the item.
Well, the day we were planning to have around the New Year time, which is next month, is the New Year, end of the month. So we were thinking the third, which is before the Chinese New Year, the third week of the month. We can have that, or if the board would like to have later day, we can have the February, which is past New Year, and we can still have that, so we don't have to rush into anything. Because since you want to see
What was
all
the date?
items.
We said January what?
17th.
Is that a holiday?
January 17th? No, it's not.
It's not the Martin Luther King holiday?
That's January 16th is Martin Luther King.
Okay, so I think, you know you know the process, because, you know, you have to send out invitation.
Yes,
Do you think you need more time, or do you want to stick to the January 17th?
I think it's good to have more time, but February, if we do on the third week, is a week after the Valentine Day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can have the 21st, which is the end, it's not New Year anymore, but we can still have the tea party, that's fine. Yeah, it's just the event to invite some other district women club to attend the event, so.
We would probably have to wait until February because she would still have to present the budget and we would still have to vote on it. That would have to take place in January
Mm-hmm.
for February, and then she would probably have to request money
From the
from,
city.
and then that takes time to process and all of that. So probably February, sounds like that would be best just time-wise.
How does that sound to you, Ms. Levasseur?
It's whatever date you guys are okay with. And just for clarification on the budget, this is a line item, meaning the money is there. So if you need to use it, you don't need approval.
Okay.
The board do have to vote on it, but the money is there.
Mm-hmm.
You would just need to submit invoices and we process it.
Okay. It should be easy then.
So I guess what we need to do then is go ahead and I'm gonna ask for a motion. Before I ask for the motion, is there any conflict with the time in February?
As
It would be prior to the meeting.
Yeah, in terms of 6 o'clock, 6
Yeah.
p.m.
Yeah,
on February 21st.
yeah, we just wanna make sure.
I would need to check the city events calendar to make sure that there's no conflict. As of right now, I don't see one, but I would need to look at the calendar to let you know if there's any conflicts.
Yeah, also it is Black History Month, so, just wanted to point that out.
Would you like to wait until Asian month?
No, I think it's beautiful.
No, I can wait.
No,
Wait 1 year, it's okay.
No, we don't have to wait.
Okay.
That was just a side note,
Yeah, I see that.
that it will be great to have a festivity at that
Okay,
time.
Okay.
So now I'm going to ask for a motion for the board to approve. Go ahead and make your motion
I make a motion
for the date.
for the tea party happening. We'll hold it on February 21st at 6 o'clock. And then we will continue to have the meeting, right, on the at 7 o'clock.
Right.
Yes. Is anyone approve that?
It's been second by Dr. Flamont. Okay, any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Call for a vote?
Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
All right.
So just to confirm for our next meeting, Ms. Glickman, you'll have your proposal for
For the tea
for us
party.
to review and, okay, awesome.
If I would ask if you could send that proposal ahead of time to Patricia Levasseur,
Absolutely.
and then that way we can, when we get here, we don't have to, okay. We can already have the proposed budget submitted to her.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
seeing that we have a scheduled event for February 21st, I would like to go back to exactly what we are requesting immediately. I think that having the table cover and at least just one banner to be ready for that event is an immediate ask that we need right now to ensure that for that particular event that we do have some kind of branding presentation. So I'm going to request the one, at minimum, one single banner,
Yes.
I would say a 10 by 10, a step and repeat, and one tablecloth for that event.
You're requesting a 10 by 10 step and repeat?
Instead of the double banners,
Mhm.
just a 10 by 10 step and repeat and the tablecloth. I'm proposing that because it is an event where we are going to be inviting other leaders from the outside coming in.
Yes.
And in my opinion, having some kind of branding presence is necessary. So
Yes,
I think the
agree.
10 by 10 step repeat and a tablecloth is necessary for this event.
Noted.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't think there's any objection to that. I think we all in agreement with our vice chairwoman that our presence is critical for the next event. Thank you. So there was a motion on the floor. It was second. And it passed
It
unanimously by
passed.
6-0, right?
Correct.
I'm just recollecting that we can move on. Okay, so D, update on health and wellness conference by board member Dr. Emanuela Flormont.
Thank you, Dr. Etienne. Yes, so based on the all the work that you did, Dr. Magda, thank you very much for it. So there is a need of educating people. Madame Levasseur, I would like to ask you a question. I said that the city has a TV station, like people can see everything that's going on. So can we use that? Like if we want to implement the wellness in the city, can you ask for us if we can use even like 1 hour or 30 minutes a week or a month, once a month, to have a wellness subject, like in the TV, or like for the community to be aware, like to be educated in the wellness part?
At this point, I want to invite Dunya, who actually runs Nomi TV, and she can correct me if I'm wrong. We do not have a studio. You would need to record that
Yes.
on your own,
Yeah.
meaning you would need to get your camera person, an editor, and provide the recordings that you
Ready
would-
to them.
Yes.
Okay, good.
So as long as you have a budget and you're able to do that, you would submit it to Dunya, but she can clarify that better than I can.
Okay,
Dunya,
good.
do you mind coming out? They have a question regarding Nomi TV. Yes. She is listening.
So the question is, do we have access to NOMI TV in case we would like to provide 30 minutes educational program once per month?
Yes.
Okay.
And we were just advised that it would be best for us to prepare it and get it edited and submit it to you.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Me the video.
Can you please come forward?
Yeah, you can submit the video. You have to approve, check spellings and all of that, and make sure everything, logos, colors, the city logo is there, and yeah, just provide. Then it's gonna be on Nomi TV, and we can put also upload to our YouTube channel.
Thank you so much.
I guess my question then, any program that is being put out on behalf of the city Commission for Women, we all need to look at it before it goes out and give,
Definitely, yes.
right?
Yes.
No, I'm just to make
Yeah,
sure.
approve. Yeah, I mean,
And just so you
Approve.
know, it has to be approved by the city
By
as
the
well.
city.
yes.
That's what
So
I'm
you would
thinking.
submit the video.
Mhm.
It would be sent to communications. It would be sent to Dunya. Any corrections that and editing that needs to happen will be sent back to you, and you would
Mhm.
need to have your editor edit it and resubmit so that it can air on Nomi TV. That's
Yeah,
usually the
it's
process.
It's in
Okay.
compliance with the city logo, colors, and all of that.
Yeah,
So
and ADA compliance, I'm sure.
ADA
Mhm.
compliance,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, talking about the health and wellness conference,
Mhm.
so to increase education and wellness and health in the city, So you see the data, you see everything that Dr. Demerit mentioned here.
Yes.
They are real and they are more. Because the data was not, due to COVID, the numbers still not updated. So we have more people and needs for healthcare and in needs for behavioral health services.
Yes.
So I think like we all on the field of the healthcare, we can have providers that I was thinking on doing it in February since Nori will have her event in February. So to look for a different date to have a health conference. So it's a free event.
This is just a question.
Mhm.
Are you proposing a conference being hosted by the Commission for Women?
Yes,
Okay.
of course.
I'm-
No, but
no,
we
because you know, because we know.
no, we hosting it, but we're gonna have professionals and that like particular health and wellness to come and make it happen, not having someone who doesn't know nothing about healthcare talking about a subject that has so much value, because we need to help women, especially women and who has behavioral problem, and we have a lot, and they need help. So if we can have one, I had the date, I submitted, but since Norisa will have her event in February, so we can look for a different date. So to have a health and wellness conference, or we can like have different providers and we record them, and then we have that on the TV so the community can benefit of those education, even
If
that's
I
your help.
if I may,
Mhm.
Dr. Flamont, I think the month of March is Women's Histories Month,
Yes,
and having a conference related to women's health, I think would be good to have in the month of March. I'm not
Okay.
sure what the rest of the board think, but I think if we're looking at dates, March.
So
I have.
I was actually looking at her next agenda item, which was the commission fundraising brunch.
Yes,
And I
Oh
think
my
that
gosh.
would actually be better
that's
for March.
You got us
that's I
all.
have it.
So-
That's I have it in March, like for March to have that. So I
Yeah.
don't know. So all three are mine. I don't know.
These
Chairwoman.
are I proposed ideas by
Yeah.
Dr. Flamont.
I don't know if you want me to, because all three are together. If you want to do. if
Well,
you
let's
want me
take
to
one at a
do all
time.
of
Let's
them.
Let's take one thing at a
But, yeah.
time. Tell the board what you envision, and then make a motion, and then we can see. And if the board has any questions, we can ask, because
But-
right now we want to take one at a time. So
Yes.
let's start with the Health and Wellness Conference.
Remember, in the second meeting, we talk about that health and wellness. That's why Dr. Demerit
Yes.
has do that. So
Right.
now I have to come up with the date.
Okay,
And when
TBA.
so now with the date, I sent to Ms. Levasseur a February. So we have an event in February. So now we have to look for another date.
What date did
for-
you have, if I may ask?
I had the first week of February, but it's not here until we have to decide now on another date because we have another event.
I don't think there's a conflict to have a tea and a wellness. What do you think, Madam Vice Chair?
So because we are a new board and we are establishing what is going to be the source of empowerment, the source of education, the source of upliftment for an entire city, that we're saying out of 60,000 residents, 49.8% of them are women. I think that we should move forward with establishing annual events as opposed to one event,
Okay.
and then not necessarily continuing with that. Now, with the fact that money is a concern, and I know that with everyone sitting here, we have at one time or another planned events, so we know how expensive they can be. I propose that we have one event in the month of March, which is celebrating Women's History Month, and that event serves as having a health and wellness component. It will serve also as a fundraising brunch, and during that Know Me Women's Conference once a year, we can also highlight small business owners and provide practical knowledge, wisdom, and best practices for them. I think that would bring value to the city as well as establish a movement going forward that there is a Know Me Women's Conference established once a year. Thank you.
I yield back to, thank you, Madam Vice Chair. I yield back to Dr. Flamont. Your thoughts on the recommendations?
Yes, but it's the 3 events. Dr. Blumer just mentioned the 3 events that I mentioned here.
And
Like
to one?
Or she put it into one because I
It
was
makes sense.
thinking on doing on March
Mhm.
for us to do the fundraising,
Mhm.
and then let me see the date and the business owner for women, like small business owner women in March. So doing the March 6 and 7. So if we can do all together, but he will be a lot. I don't know if we can do all 3, but all 3 are very necessary because we need to raise money for our commission, and we need to educate people on those 2 aspects. So I don't know how we're gonna do all 3 in one.
All right, we have a few more minutes left. I just want to make sure that we allow time for questions. Go ahead, Dr. Demerit.
Yes, I think that what probably would work is if we collaborated with someone or another organization that already has maybe a health and wellness conference that we can join and be a part of. But I really like the idea of combining like a brunch with like a small business owner education, inviting small business owners to come and represent and have that as a fundraiser. I really like that as well. So I think potentially if we look at it that way, collaborating with an organization that's already doing the work here in the city as the Women's Commission, and then having that event, I think that might work.
I disagree. Dr. Demerit, this is the first annual event for the commission. I think we need to do it I think we need to do it as the commission, and then we can invite sponsors, partners, supporters, but it has to be us. What-
So it would be Know Me Women's Conference.
Know Me Women's
Yes,
Conference.
everything would be Know Me Women's
Right.
Conference, women.
Okay.
Because
All right.
Dr. Etienne, let me have a moment, please.
Uh-huh.
Let's say,
Mhm.
let's do because the conference is not something that we're gonna do before our meeting. It's an
Oh,
event
no.
for us.
Oh, no, we know.
So I think we can, if you all agree on it, we can do it in February, because the Tea Party will be during the meeting time.
I still think that
Too much.
let's
Have-
focus on February. Let's focus on the Tea Party
Okay.
and let it be
All 3
uh,
in March.
the theme. And then I think the
We can
annual
do it.
event, I think it's perfect because it's your agenda. So if you say you're having a 2-day conference, let's have a 2-day conference.
Yeah.
If you say let's have 1-day conference, then we can have an agenda item put together by all of us so that the agenda is very straightforward and that we're addressing those areas. We know we're not going to
Yes,
be perfect,
That's good.
but we are going to aim for perfection, right? And so I'm looking at the time, and we did start 5 minutes after. I want to make sure that we respect the time of Patricia as well as Madam Vice Mayor. And so let's
Do we have a
let's make
motion?
a motion. Make a motion. Anybody make a motion, please?
A motion to have the Health and Know Me Women Commission health and wellness conference, fundraising brunch, small business owner, a seminar, all in during the weekend of March 6,
Let-
7, and 8.
Can somebody make a friendly amendment to
So
that
the
motion?
friendly amendment
friendly.
is, there is a motion on the floor for us to host a annual North Miami Women's Conference in the month of March.
Yes. Okay, and the content of
And
the
the motion-
conference can be discussed.
I
And the
second.
motion,
Mhm.
second?
Okay, it has been second.
Okay. All who agree?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays, anyone disagree? No,
No.
okay.
Mhm.
Motion passes 6-0 for the annual women's conference in March.
Okay, and the date,
Let's look at a date now.
yes,
I think March 8 is the women's.
you said,
Day,
you
let
said
me
6 and 7, what day is that?
Wait,
That's a Monday or Tuesday.
Wait. See, we can change it for weekend.
You want to do it the first weekend?
No, the first March, I would be in Tennessee the first weekend for a conference.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And we can do, yeah, I was thinking the weekend of, because March 8th is the National
Oh, I'm looking at,
Women, Day. Yes.
so you're looking at a Thursday, Friday, or you're looking at Friday, Saturday? What are you looking at?
I was looking on Monday, Tuesday, because most of the women, the small business owners in the city, I make some research. I saw they close on Monday.
Oh,
So if they close
okay.
on Monday, they have chance to participate, because we would love them to come. You know.
So do you think we could possibly do it on
Sunday, Monday?
Friday? We have a welcome reception and then a day of activity on Saturday? Maybe that would work?
She's not gonna be here.
No, I didn't choose a date.
No.
I'm just saying the days. If
Oh,
it can be a welcome reception on Friday night and then a day of activities on Saturday.
Saturdays we will have some professionals come, but the business owner for the business seminar, they may not come, because Saturday, most of the business, that's where they make the money. So we need to look for a day that they have less activity, so for them to come. Or
So-
because when I was thinking of that, I was not exclude those small businesses.
mhm.
So do you think possibly a brunch on Sunday and then a
Yes.
day of activity on Monday?
On
So the
Monday.
5th and the 6th.
Yes.
So we're going to put a motion on the floor for the date for consideration is
6th and-
March
5th and
5th and 6th.
5th and 5th is Saturday. Sunday is the 6th.
No,
23.
2023, March 5th is a Sunday, Monday's the 6th. So we have a motion on the floor
Yes.
for March 5th and 6th.
Okay, yes.
We have one person not here, out of town.
Which day you're not here?
From the week, from the 3rd to the 6th.
Okay. Well, we want,
It's okay, you can do it.
this is our first event. We want all of our board members to be present. So we want to make sure, it's not okay to do it without you. We want to make sure everybody's can be there. So,
12 and 13?
12, 13, everybody? Is that good for
Everybody
you?
12 for
No, it's
13?
okay, yeah. I'm not here on the first week, but
We
okay,
talk-
12
Okay.
and 13. So what we gonna do in March 8th? Well, she's coming back on the 6th,
Oh, you want to do
So
something on the
7.
8th, which is the women's,
the Women's Day,
oh, international.
the
Women's Day.
Women International Day.
So we can, yeah, because the thing is, if you really want to do something on the 8th, then I say bring the event for the 7th and the 8th, or the 8th and the 9th. To schedule one event
Yeah.
on the 8th and then a conference on
Too
the
much.
following week, it's too much, and you risk losing participation.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that we present it as the
8th and
North
9th.
Miami Women's Conference,
8th
where
and 9th.
everybody's invited. So if you want to do it specifically covering the International Women's Day, then it's the 8th and the 9th. Do we have a motion for the 8th and the 9th?
Do you think, let me say something. Do you think a brunch or something, they would come on a brunch during work day?
Yes,
That's-
I see that luncheons in the
Mhm.
city work very well.
Mhm.
People leave their jobs, they come, and they attend. I think that works very well, especially on International Women's Day. That is a day that the world recognizes as a day for women to take time for them to be acknowledged. So I think we would have a great participation, and I think that's a great date.
And we can ask Madam Vice Mayor to collaborate with us.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Madam Vice Mayor doesn't have an event on March 8th?
She has it March 23rd of that month. The Women's Women Empowerment Network's luncheon is done every year on
Okay.
March 23rd.
Okay,
So we're
so
not
we
in
good?
conflict.
I'm sorry.
We good.
Let me be very clear. It's not
Yeah.
March 23rd every year. I believe it's the
It's a Thursday.
fourth Thursday of the year that she
Okay,
does.
perfect.
Mhm.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so do we have a motion for North Miami Women's Conference for March 8th and 9th?
Second?
There's a motion on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion's carry 6-0.
Okay.
All right, so I think we have the floor for public hearing if there's any. Yes. Our meeting is on the third Tuesdays, yes.
So we have the conference and the meeting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, it is,
Right before we leave, I just wanted to wish everyone a happy, joyous, and peaceful holiday and a prosperous new year. We know that as women, we go through so much throughout the year. I am encouraging you to take this time out for self-care, even if it's one day before the year ends. Take that time out to reflect. Take that time out to prepare. Take that time out to strategize for what you believe 2023 can be for you. Again, to everyone, have a happy, safe holiday and Happy New Year.
I second.
I didn't close the meeting yet. But I do want to wish the entire city and everybody who's watching happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, and Joyeux Noël, and be safe. The holidays can be very festive. We want them to be festive, but we want you to be safe. So I want to also wish happy holidays to my colleagues. I do have a card for each one of you. And thank you, Ms. Levasseur, for your continued support. And of course, Ms. Dunya, I want to say thank you. And thank you, Madam Vice Mayor, for joining us this evening. We appreciate you. And we also want to wish congratulations to our new mayor of the city, Mayor, the newly appointed mayor, Dr. Alex Desulme, and of course, the newly appointed Vice Mayor, Councilwoman Mary Estime Irvin, and the entire council. I want to say happy holidays to all of you, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to serve. All right, do we have any questions? If we can get a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, I have a card for everyone, and I do have a gift in my trunk for everybody.